Hi, Vanessa. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good too. So I'm glad to hear you're doing better. Um, so tell me how it's been going this week at home. Is there anything?
Yeah. So my mom has been working from home all week. I think she was gonna go back to work or like check in at her job on Monday, but then I think they just told her don't do that. So, but I mean, with the whole like being lonely or yeah, that hasn't actually been an issue this week because I think in my head I was just like, if you're lonely, call someone. I was
Nice.
like, let's just deal with it. And then I was like, okay. But my I feel like I still have been stressed just for like everything that's going on. And then since my mom's here, I don't really like I can't focus or like I don't have the attention span and then it's just the stress of the deadlines and then you know all that.
Right, because there's constant commotion around you that it's really hard to focus and concentrate. Um, do you have, well, sorry. First of all, I'm glad to hear that you haven't been feeling lonely this week and that you've been doing your strategies, calling someone whenever you feel lonely. That's really great. Is there any place that you can go to? I remember last week we talked about your mom's cave,
Yes, the she shed.
the she shed. That was the word you used. Is there any way that maybe you could go in there to maybe find some alone time or like a place where you can do some focused work?
um if I guess I can basically I can do stuff in there that doesn't require Wi-Fi because it's in the other house and then the Wi-Fi is here. And then we
Oh,
have like one of those like routers or one of those things that like extend the signal, but it doesn't even like it just reaches the door into that room.
oh,
So, but yeah, and then also I mean, I guess it wouldn't be because my grandma and then like her nurse is there and her nurse talks a lot. So that's also like I just need to be secluded in a room by myself where no one is near me in like a 30-yard radius.
right. So the spot you're in now, tell me, are there a lot of distractions where you are right now? Is this
um it depends. It only depends. Uh so on weekdays since my mom's here like from when she wakes up till like 5 because that's when the nurse leaves and she has to drop her off. Um like she's like watching TV. But then I mean, I just do my work. So like that's not really a big thing. Right now it's not like now it's fine because like my cousin's in the room, but I was just like, hey, I'm gonna close this door for like 2 hours. And he was just he's like he's fine. Um it's just more like once the nurse is here, then my mom just automatically leaves and she'll just like here and then she just wants to like watch TV and stuff. And then I try to put music on to like study and like try to do things, but like she always asks me questions because she's not really that tech savvy. So if something happens,
mm,
she needs my help and all this stuff.
right? Well, I can see why you're a little stressed these days, especially since you're at home and you said you love the library and that's where you usually work. And if your mom is working from home now too, it can be a little bit of an additional struggle, I'm sure. Um, Tell me more about how your mom and your grandma are doing this.
Well, what a
If
question.
you
um when was it? Oh yeah, at one point this week I woke up to screaming from just my mom. Now it's just getting to a point where like my grandma's like not really combative. Like before when they would have fights, like my grandma would say mean things to her and I'm just like, it makes sense. Now it's just like my grandma's just like being like a helpless old woman that can't do anything for herself. And I think my mom's just too annoyed. Like she's just gotten to the point that like calling her name like just really annoys her. And then she just like she loses it now. And um it's like before it didn't really, well, I guess now like stresses me out because before whenever they'd fight I'm just like, okay, cool, I'm just here to like be a buffer, make sure nobody does anything. Now it's just getting a lot, and then like I can't even like defend her because and I tell her, and then my cousin and I are now watching it and stuff, and um uh my cousin's super like, because apparently my mom has like antidepressants and stuff that she doesn't take, and then my cousin's like, take it. I don't know why you're not taking it, to my mom.
Mhm.
So I think now she's like, she changed when she's taking them, so to help so far, because that was monday Monday or Tuesday. So far it's been okay, but like I just know all the time now she snaps faster and like just super easy. And I mean, I get it because like she'll come here and then she'll tell my cousin to like go over there because she can't deal with it. And my grandma's just like, and at night it gets worse because my grandma's now like, once it turns nighttime, like it's just like she doesn't know how to do anything, and then she'll ask for the same thing over and over again, and we'll do it, and then she keeps asking to like redo it, and then she doesn't really understand anything anymore. And so yeah, that's how that's going.
So basically, your mom has been on a little bit more of a short fuse the last week, and you said she's taking some medication that she's not really taking, or she changed when she's taking it, so that might be affecting her as well. But now you feel that it's your grandma who's more in the helpless situation, whereas before you felt like you had to defend your mom more, but now you're kind of transitioning into defending your grandmother more in this situation. And how is that affecting your relationship with your mom? How does she react to you defending your grandmother these days?
I mean, I the way that I say it, I don't think she takes it as like defensively. It's more just like I'm telling her like, you're, because I'm just like really honest with her, and I'm just like, yeah, you're losing it very fast now, and you're gonna snap at some point, and after that I can't help you. Like, I don't really, and I tell her straight up, I was like, I don't really care what happens to her because I only just kind of care about you at this point. So, but like if something happens and you do something, I can't help you at that point. There's no me backing you up or anything. So you need to figure that out and stuff. And I mean, she just says things like, what are we gonna do? And all that stuff. I mean, now like my cousin and I are kind of like, my cousin's super like, you gotta like, you're the only one stopping her, like stopping us from putting her in a home, because apparently everyone else does. But then also, well, yeah, obviously I've wanted that for a very long time, but now what's going on, like even like by some crazy miracle my mom's just like, yeah, let's put her in a home. Like what's going on now, we can't, because of just like, we don't know like what's going on in like the homes, or like who's exposed. And then she like, I think read something, she was just like, oh, an old person's home had like 4 cases. So that's definitely not a thing that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Right. And especially since your grandma is definitely in the high risk group, I could see how that would be a little scary to try to do that right now.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm glad to hear that your mom and you are so close that you're able to say whatever to her and she's understanding about it. When you say, one of these days you're gonna snap and I'm not gonna be able to help you, and or one of these days you're gonna do something and I'm not gonna be able to back you up, what exactly are you talking about there? I think previously you mentioned one time that you're afraid your mom might strike your grandma. Is that what you're talking about here too?
Yeah. Sometimes like when she gets like super annoyed or like super aggravated, she'll like, um I don't know, like if, because one of the main things, like my grandma will just say like, put on her shoes, and then we'll put on her shoes, and then she'll be like, take them off. But then it'll be like, literally, she'll ask for the same thing over and over again, and she'll ask us to take off and put on her shoes 10 times in like a 5-minute span. And then so my mom, like I guess like an example would be like she'll like grab her legs and just kind of like lift them and be like, what do you want us to do with this? And like my cousin and I, when we're there, we're usually like, stop, 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 don't touch her. So that's why mainly whenever things are happening, I stay there just to like, if something were to happen, I can like jump in and stuff.
Right. So you're always around when your mom and your grandma are interacting?
No, it's mainly like in the mornings because I kind of like stay away from that house as much as I can just because like I've never, like even before like this whole pandemic, like I've always just like, I walk through, say hello to everyone, walk out, go back here, do my things. Then if my mom needs help putting her to bed, that's when I go. Um, but mainly like now things are usually these like fights or anything happen at night, but like now it's like happening in the morning. But I think also like my mom is just like not a morning person, and then like my grandma just will wake up at any point in time. So she woke us up at like 6 a.m. 2 days ago, even though none of us had to be awake, and then she just gets mad. Um so I know my cousin hangs out there a lot just to like not do anything. He kind of just sits there and like sits on the couch. So he'll tell me, like he'll just come in and make a comment just like she needs to figure out what she's gonna do with her. And then that's when he'll tell me, yeah, like another fight happened or whatever.
Okay. That's definitely a lot that you have to go through. And I'm sorry this is now happening in the mornings too and not just at night. That must be very stressful to like be surrounded by a lot of screaming, and you must feel like it's getting in the way of your work as well, for sure. How does it make you feel knowing that your mom might strike your grandma, or that you might not be able to defend your mom in that case?
I mean, I feel like I think like the best example, like once, because my grandma will say things like, "Oh, she hits me," when she doesn't, but like, because my grandma will say a lot of things, because she like, my cousin says it and my mom says it, that like she's smart and like she acts like she doesn't know what's going on because she wants us to like interact with her and she wants to like get us like heated. And I'm just like, half the time, I mean, I'm pretty sure she is losing it because this whole shoe thing is like a new thing now that's going on. But I mean, she had said that she's hit, because she I think told my cousin that he hit her, or she hit her. And my mom was there and heard that and was like, why are you telling people I'm hitting you and all this stuff? And she said something like, if you keep telling people, like, they're gonna take you away. And I was sitting in the background and I said, let them, which didn't help the situation. But like, I mean, if it comes to a point, I feel bad, like if my mom hits her, like I feel bad, like more just, I'm so desensitized and like detached from my grandma. It would be more like I would be more worried of what happens to my mom than to what happens to my grandma. I'll be like, oh yeah, it sucks, she got hit. But I'll be like, oh no, I hope nothing happens to my mom, and they do like law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're feeling afraid that something might happen to your mom because of your grandmother provoking her, or even maybe deceitfully telling people that your mom has been hitting her. And of course, that's really scary. That's a scary thought. And you're so desensitized that you're okay with your grandma going away. It's unfortunate that this pandemic is getting in the way of your grandmother probably even getting better care. Not that you guys are not taking care of her well, that's not what I meant at all, but just like less stress around her too, because of like her need to provoke you guys, as you were saying she does. Yeah, it's unfortunate that this pandemic will not let you guys do that, especially since your mom's coming around to it too. And that seems to be what everybody in your home wants. Well, I'm really sorry that right now there's nothing you can do about that, but maybe there's some stuff that we could think about that will help you feel less stressed. So, just like the loneliness that we were talking about last week, and you overcame that so beautifully. I'm so glad that you haven't felt the need to put anything in your log. That's great. Is there any way we can do that with stress? Could you tell me something that helps you when you're feeling stressed? Is there anything that de stresses you right now while you're at home?
Well, I guess like recently now I'm like rewatching an old show that like I've seen twice already, but I use it now for like background noise during the day when I'm working because I wouldn't be able to do it if I'm writing a paper because then I don't have the attention span. But like when I'm working during the day, I I put it on today and I like felt fine. Like I felt good. Um Also, I mean, my mom hasn't been back here today because the nurse didn't come today. So that also might have helped the situation that she
Right.
wasn't back
Having
here
a
with
little
me.
time.
Yeah, she's going to come later because the nurse comes at night and stuff. Um but I mean, other than that, I don't know. It's more so whatever happens there doesn't really like that doesn't really stress me out. It's just I guess now my mom comes more frequently and I see her like losing her cool faster, and so it's more like I'm like if she were to do something, like if she would just to like hit her by accident or something like that, I think the main thing would just like the fallout of like how she would feel, because like I know that she would hate herself. And then I have to deal with that because everything that happens, she vents to me. And because she thinks, well, I mean, I'd never really told her anything otherwise, but she was just like, well, this is like your field. And then she'll just vent everything to me, but then project everything to me. And I'm just like, and then it's just like sometimes they're like the wrong topics. Like she'll vent like that she feels like her life sucks or like whatever, or like my grandma's just like stressing her out. But when she vents to that to me, I don't feel really that much because in my head I think, well, you know what you have to do. It's more like when she vents, like if my grandma like calls her a bad mom, like that's like the stuff that I'll like validate her and be like, yeah, no, you're not, I'm the daughter, I get the say or whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah, so
So you feel a little frustrated because your mom doesn't do what she could do, and she instead vents to you about it when you see the clear
yeah.
solution to the problem, right? um so your stress is mostly stemming from your mom venting to you, and it's not the schoolwork or the school load that you have right now. Is that
Oh,
right?
oh no, for sure. That is also
Oh.
not helping the
Just like,
situation.
just
No,
trying
no.
to understand.
No, that's just like that is going on. So then it's disrupting me trying to do the schoolwork. And then that is stressing me out because then I just like, I have too much like everything that's going on. And then the thought that like I'm going to be here for a while is like coming. And I'm just like, it's not going to be bad. But then it's just like, then I get too anxious to start a paper. And then I was just like, oh no. And then I like do something else and procrastinate everything else because that's like I've been a procrastinator my whole life. But then like the deadlines are coming, so then I get more anxiety, and then that's where like I'll like break down and stuff like that. So like that's what's been going on now.
Right.
Not so much I'm lonely now; it's just like
Right. So
stress.
instead of the stress fueling you to do the paper, instead it's fueling you to procrastinate, and then it's a whole cycle.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so let's try to figure out how we can maybe get the motivation to like get you started, because I know once you start you'll be like click click clacking away. So let's figure it out. So you said you like to watch a show. um what's the show? Just curious.
New girl.
Oh yes, I love
Yeah.
New Girl. That's such a great show. Well, That's good background noise. Maybe that could be like a starter and like you could reward yourself with that every time you do a little bit of a paper. Maybe you could reward yourself with that. Another thing that I was kind of thinking about is earlier you mentioned that you're very honest with your mom and you tell her exactly how it is. Do you think you'd be able to tell her that you need more space, especially since we're looking at maybe till August that we're going to be doing this online courses and like doing remote work? Do you think there's any way that you maybe could communicate that to your mom?
See, I've also thought of that. I mean, I know for sure when we have class, like I tell her, don't come, like just don't come back here. Usually, I mean, she doesn't because like by that time she has to go drop off the nurse and watch my grandma. Um, like I've told her like over the like during the weekends, like I need to be isolated, like I can't have you back here. And then, but we have a weekend nurse, so she's literally there all weekend. And then my mom's just like, oh, well, I'm not going to stay back there. I can't. And I'm just like, well, technically you can. You have your she shed, and all you have to do is close the door and then just do your own thing. It's not, I'm not even watching what you're watching. I'm trying to do work. So it's not like you're losing time or anything. But yeah, I mean, I once explained to her that I had class, and then she came in the middle of here, and then she was just like, "Can I watch TV?" And I was like, "No, you can't. Obviously not."
Yeah.
But yeah, but she takes everything very personally. She takes everything very personally, and she plays the victim very well. So it's just like if I tell her I need space, then she like I don't even know. She takes it very bad. She'll cry, and I'm just like, well, not that it makes me feel bad. I'm just like, great.
Yeah. So that's a little confusing in how to overcome that situation. So she only you feel that she only leaves you or gives you your space when you tell her that there's a class or if you have a meeting or something. Um but otherwise there's like less boundaries.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely. I think she's like very, like she'll give me the space because I have class. Only like a good fact of it is because she has no choice.
Right.
Because I once said, "Oh, can you like not come into the house for a little bit while like over the weekend?" And then she'll just say, "Can't you work in like where the room that my cousin is in?" And I was like, "There where? There's literally no space. The desk is covered with all his things. No, I need here. This is where the table is." So, and then she'll tell me, "Can't you go back? Can't you go to like where I usually go?" And I was like, "I need the Wi-Fi."
Mm.
So, so yeah.
It sounds very frustrating, or it sounds like you're frustrated by that for sure. And I understand that it's a very complex situation, especially since now we're all stuck. Um, I'm hoping you can help me figure out a way to help yourself too. So we need to like figure this out together.
Yeah.
How do we?
I mean, I've thought that because everyone always tells me, or at least just because, what are words? Solely with like the just the doing homework stuff. I'm trying like today I like tried mentally like doing like a schedule. So like today we're gonna do our final for this class, and then I think the odds of me like trying to start any of the two papers that I have left are low at night. So like once we get this, I'll just finish like start transcribing because that will be easy to do,
Mhm.
especially when my mom will be here and like I don't have to like listen or anything. And then with the with the other paper that we have to interview a person, I like picked a day in my mind when I would do that. And then I think that gives me enough time to like sort of write all that. So I'm trying to like make a schedule, and I usually try to and it never works out, but I think this one in my mind is like better, like I'm giving an actual like time and day. But yeah.
Well, that's great. Yeah, schedules are definitely hard to keep up with, but sounds like you're doing a good job with like putting a time and really setting like clear goals, which is really good. And you're right. It will be smooth sailing once we finish this and you can transcribe. It's not really something that you need full quiet for because you can
Mm-hmm.
just put your headphones in. And I feel like if you have an interview date set too, once that's done, that'll be also something that you can just write out once you've done the interview. So it's looking pretty promising for like the rest of the next couple weeks that we have, which is good. Um, I really hope that things will get better for you at home in terms of the stress and the frustrations that you're dealing with. And I'm just really proud of you for feeling less lonely and like taking control of your life. And it really sounds like you know what's going on and you know what you have to do. It's just circumstances that are kind of in the way of everything. But I'm here for you if you need anything else and we can set some more goals together. Really just talk to me whenever you want about all of this. And like I said, I hope it will get better soon. And we'll talk next time.
Thanks.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you for listening.